Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, given that all three of the first partner Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Shield have come around in Rebel Clash as VMAXs, I thought it was only fair that we take a look at the best one of them. It's Cinderace. Now, my reasoning is not flawless, but Limitless had a giant 1,200 person tournament this past weekend. And in 55th place, we had our highest placing Cinderace deck. In 98th place, we had our highest placing Rillaboom deck. And then unfortunately, down in 102nd place, we saw our highest finishing Inteleon deck. So, given that Cinderace is the best of the first partner Pokemon in Rebel Clash, let's take a look, shall we? Now, Cinderace V I kind of like. If there is any stadium in play, it's got free retreat, and let's face it, there will almost certainly be a stadium in play. There usually is nowadays. And for free energy, you do 140 damage. Bearing in mind at the moment, fire decks have Welder, which means that you can pretty much... you can get this going quite easily. It's really not that difficult to just drop a Welder and an energy, and then boom, off you go, job's a good one. You got free energy on there, you're hitting for 140, life is good. But then again, we've also got Cinderace VMAX, and Cinderace VMAX we like very much indeed. You see, for 2 energy, it does 30 damage base, but if it took any damage during your opponent's last turn, you do that much more damage, even if you healed up, which is a bit dumb. So your opponent hits you for 150, you hit them for 180, etc. Bearing in mind you've got 320 HP and are extremely difficult to one-hit KO, this is something we should all be getting a little bit excited about. We've then got free energy 170 plus burn, and this essentially is just going, look, if you attack me, I'm going to hit you back harder with counter, and if you don't attack me, I'm going to hit you for 170 and burn you a max Pyro Ball. Your move, sucker. Now, being a fire deck, we do want to play a 2-2 list of Ninetales. Ninetales is Redonk, because you discard 2 fire energy from your hand, and you get to gust any of your opponent's Pokemon from the bench into the active. And this is brilliant, because it means that you've got guaranteed gusting on anything without using your supporter for the turn. It is one of the big advantages fire decks have. Now, in terms of other attackers, there are a couple that was played in this deck. I should mention that the deck was piloted by Elmer Risley. Congratulations. There is a single copy of Dubwool V, 210 HP, takes 30 less from attacks, but really what we like here is free energy 120, plus 30 more for each prize card your opponent has taken. So the goal here is you drop a reset stamp, put your opponent down to a 1 or 2 card hand in the late game, and then start hitting for great damage. I mean, if they've taken 5 prizes, you reset stamp them to 1, and then you're hitting for 270. Bearing in mind, Welder will get the energy onto Dubwool quite easily. We've then got one Heatran GX. Heatran GX is kind of awesome. It's got that skill whereby when you switch it into the active, you get to move any amount of fire energy from your other Pokemon to it, which is nice. Free energy 130 is good for running through littler Pokemon, and it only gives up 2 prizes, unlike Cinderace VMAX. And then GX attack, bearing in mind your main Pokemon is a VMAX, you don't actually have GX attacks you need to use in this deck. 50 damage for each fire energy attached to it. So in case of emergency, pile energy onto Heatran using the ability, and then smash with the GX attack. Now, there is also a copy of Volcanion there. It's a nice single prize attacker. 2 energy, 110, as long as you've got 2 other fire energy on the field, 4 in total. And single fire energy, search your deck for a fire and attach it to one of your Pokemon. But if you went second on your first turn, you search for free fire energy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is crazy good. We love that. We've then got one copy of Eldegoss V to recover a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. 2 copies of Dedenne GX, discard your hand, draw 6 cards. It is there for your early game. I mean, to be fair, it could be mid or late game, but mostly early game speed and consistency. And 2 copies of Jirachi here. I mean, we've looked at this in so many videos. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you find yourself a trainer card, you put it in your hand, you go to sleep. We've seen this before. And then use a skateboard to free retreat. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And we love it. So basically, lots of consistency cards, bit of gusting with Ninetales, and then a couple of little techs as well. Moving into the trainer cards, there are 2 supporter cards we want more than any other. Firstly, Welder, attach free energy, draw 2 cards. Yeah, that's going to help you out in a fire deck. And then Professor Magnolia, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. These are the ones that you really want to be using here, because they are going to give you the speed and consistency to make sure that you can set up and get rolling. We do have a copy of Mallow and Lana here, lets you switch and heal 120, and we said healing can be pretty good in this deck. And then 1 copy of Boss's Orders, it's a gusting supporter. Yes, we've got Ninetales. Ninetales is stage 1. Takes up a bench space. Needs 2 fire energy in hand. There are many things that can go wrong, so you're not able to use Ninetales. Boss's Orders has got your back. Plus, Boss's Orders can be reused with Eldegoss in the late game to take that key KO or that final KO, which you will see a lot of. You will see a lot of Eldegoss for Boss's Orders, mark me word. Now, you are an almost entirely basic deck other than Ninetales, so we see 4 copies of Quick Ball here. Discard a card from your hand, find a basic Pokemon. It is absolutely what we're looking for. And then we got a couple copies of Great Ball, which is essentially your best option for getting Ninetales. Is it perfect? No. But this is a very fast, consistent deck, so you should be alright here. We got 3 copies of Switch to get Pokemon in and out of the active. Really good with Heat Transability. Really good, just generally, to be honest with you. Plus, you know, Jirachi. And obviously to a Skateboard to reduce your retreat cost by 1 and allow you to retreat even if you are asleep or paralyzed. It's not just for Jirachi, but it's largely for Jirachi. We got a couple copies of Pokegear that are going to help you get your supporter cards a little bit easier, bearing in mind how important some of these can be, and we're playing a couple of one-offs. It seems like playing Pokegear would be a pretty good option. And then we got 2 copies of Reset Stamp. Now, Reset Stamp is huge here because of Dubwool. A lot of decks try and get away with 1 Reset Stamp, just for that 1 big turn to try and disrupt your opponent, and a lot of the time, 1 Reset Stamp will be enough. What will not be enough is when you desperately need it for Dubwool, and that's kind of the point here. It is really good with Dubwool to the point where you need a second just to make sure you've got it at the right time. We've then got 2 copies of Fire Crystal. It gets your fire energy back from the discard pile for either Welder or Ninetales. It's pretty gosh darn good. We got 1 copy of Big Charm to give you an extra 30 HP, and I know that Cinderace is gigantic anyway, but come on, give it an extra 30 HP, why not? 350 HP, and does as much damage to you as you just did to it. Tell me that doesn't sound like fun, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me it doesn't sound like fun. We then see, in terms of stadiums, 1 copy of Heat Factory Prism Star. Discard a fire energy from your hand, draw 3 cards. That is going to be really, really good in terms of just drawing stuff, quite frankly. It's going to be really good for consistency. Why would it not be? And then we've got ourselves 2 copies of Giant Half. Discard a card from your hand, and then grab yourselves 2 fire energy from the deck. It is awesome for getting that energy. And you need the energy in this deck. We've said this a few times already. Could be for Ninetales, could be for Welder. Point is, you're going to need the energy. So having cards like Giant Half and Fire Crystal are going to be gigantic advantages. We are big fans, ladies and gentlemen. We are big fans. I love Cinderace. I've made no secret of that. I might have been wrong when I suggested it's better than Dragapult, although let's be clear, these cards have been out for like a week or 2. Don't be making any huge judgments just yet. But as it stands at the moment, I think this is a really good deck with a huge amount of potential, and I think this is a deck that's only going to get better from here. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to know what you think about this Cinderace deck and whether you think it's got potential, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darn awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.